they do evil, no one may.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Facebook, YouTube, Mayegun Diary, Mayegun Diary. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary,
That's true. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Godfatherism. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun Diary.
Thank you very much for joining me. Kindly let me know if this audio is by some means is acting up on your own device there, and if it is general. Also, if the video is clearer enough, not pixelating, as they say, just before we get fully into it. But while you join, share the broadcasts. A lot can happen in Nigeria within 24 hours, politically and on so many fronts. So I've been away for 48 hours. Therefore, a lot has happened, and I have a lot to share with you on the program today. So share it. Relax. Drop your offering, which is like the broadcast, before you finally settle down, okay? Read the caption and read the description of this broadcast and get to see where you are likely going to agree or disagree with me, or possibly just learn something new with what you already know. So share the broadcast for the last time. Beautiful.
Mayegun ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ni.
Thank you very much. There is something I'm going to actually open this conversation with, and that is, even though it seems that people don't really care anymore, right? The president of Nigeria, Buhari, is here in the UK for medical, something they call very serious routine medical checkup. So he's going to be here for like about a week or two. And if you are looking for any of the APC, Egbekegbe's failure that you can't really think of with, immediately, which they are actually many, you are likely going to have a lot. The president of Nigeria, who is suffering from some serious terminal illness, right? And he's been managing it. The whole country have no idea what is wrong with their president. But for the past 7 years, he's been opened up, closed back, access here, all that stuff. Everything about him is right there in the, in the cover of the MI6 British government. Now, normally, for a normal country where you have normal people. Sure, you get. Imagine if the American president, right, is visiting the UK for his medical treatment that nowhere in America could really, deal with. That alone is a national security threat. Something that I believe is part of the compromise to keep Boko Haram in there. So if you are looking for any failure for that 7 years, I mean, not even once, not like, just once to think of or more. What about those who are likely to be suffering the same thing I'm suffering right now, which I have easy access to? We're in the British hospitals, right? I mean, even if you have, let's say, 10, 20, 100 people who are likely to be suffering from the same thing Boko Haram probably is suffering from, how are they accessing their own healthcare? Or do they just die and their family have to just be like, well, she died, he died. Now, for 7 years and over 4 billion every year budget for the Old Rock Clinic, the old people's home, APC, Egbekegbe, never improved the healthcare service in Nigeria. Rather, in 7 years, Nigeria have lost over 15,000 medical practitioners, doctors, nurses, specialists, and all that, to the UK government, to the UK people alone. So if you think the effect of a Brexit on the people of United Kingdom, right, is kind of being felt right now when everyone have to leave. But Nigerian trained doctors, nurses are being shipped out of Nigeria, and you are being denied the access to a proper healthcare, which they fail to fund. Now, that is for 7 years. Tell me about selfishness and self-centeredness, and I'll give you a good textbook definition of that. So that is a fact. In fact, there is a clip when Boko Haram arrived to come and get his new Jag. I chose to start from there. I think, okay, I have the clip. This one, very short. And the people who have no access to ordinary clinical check, GP, doctor, check me. I don't know what is wrong with my daughter. I don't know what is wrong with my son, or I don't know what is wrong with me. The people who have no access to all of this in Nigeria, right, are going to be compelled to pray for him. In the last 7 years, every time he left Nigeria, for the UK, for medical treatment, the poor, impoverished Nigerians will be praying for him. Allah, please bring back our president. Give him healing. Give him strength. Give him wisdom. Oh, the Lord Jesus Christ, our Heavenly Father, we pray for the recuperation of our president. We pray that God will give him healing. Our Heavenly Father, you are the great healer. Now they are busy doing that in Nigeria, while the doctors in the UK plug their presidiot to a machine, checking, is he breathing well? What about that lungs? What about that, this one will change? What about that part? What about the other one? Are they already failing? Should we need to change them? They are using your presidiot. Just, what did they call that? What did they do for lab? For experiment in the lab. What did they call them? Tell me. They have a name, and I don't want to say it wrong. They are using your presidiot as a lab material. They are using him to examine whatever it is. You know what I mean? And in Nigeria, your hypocrisy, the weaponized poverty, self-centeredness, and self-hate is pushing you to another one. In fact, with what, we have lab rats, not just lab rats. Clinical. Okay, well, let's put them like You've got Labrat, you've got a cadaver. Somebody said cadaver. Anyway, you shall get what I mean. Like for clinical trial, like, okay, let's try that one. Oh, there is this new drug. Let's try it on the president of Nigeria. Very, very, very expensive drug. So, you know, there's this president of Nigeria or president of Africa, or this president from here and there, politicians here. We can try it on them. They love everything so luxurious and you know what I mean? While they just put your national security in the hand of your supposed slave masters. But I just thought we should start from there. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, everything don't they take shape. I did warn you on this temple of truth. I said, and that was probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and even prior to that, I said, you see the owners of Nigeria, the criminals who deliberately underdeveloped Nigeria. I am talking about the what do you call it? The septuagenarian, octogenarian rogues who have deliberately kept Nigeria divided for their own sake. That whenever they actually feel threatened that they are about to lose all of that, they would unravel. And by the time they unravel, even you that is angling, all of you that are angling to rescue Nigeria, which I don't know if you are prepared for, you will be overwhelmed. In fact, from my own experience, the next person that is hungry, raging, this country is a terrible, all these our leaders are terrible people, we must fight them. And you actually have no idea that this person is also a typical Nigerian that is actually waiting for his own turn, because not that he actually or she actually hates corruption, oppression, suppression, you know, every other thing that makes you angry, that you feel like Nigeria must be rescued. So all of you that are going to be attracted by the noise of we want to save Nigeria, you will figure out later that when the rogues who have held you down for so long, you know them. Some of you are so used to them. If they are not in the camp where you feel like you are right, you will always remember that they are your enemies. They've been there. If you found yourself in the camp where any of them seems to align with, you will pardon all their iniquities and all the crimes they've participated in committing against you. So is that person next to you saying, this country, we must fight for we must vote, we must do all of that, when the criminals who have held you down, when they arrive? Seriously? Everybody go begin to take their own different side, and you will be, then you who probably are so honest, you want to save Nigeria, Abi, you will realize that you are likely just alone. Honestly, I'm going to get to that part if I have the time or if I remember. What I'm trying to say here is that as the rogues are already seeing the level of your rage, especially you, the revolution now, obedient, and everyone out there, I said, once they start, even that your brother that is telling you Biafra or death, you will be shocked that the whole shenanigans will take some of them away from you too. I did say, remember, that when their charade starts and all the lies begin to fly around, typical Nigerians who have been saddled all these years with the, what you can say, solution syndrome. We can't continue like this. Nigeria needs to break. Then you begin to see them. They have started changing their tone. You know, I don't like PDP, I don't like APC, but I'm just supporting Obi. I mean, just because, just for, I told you, I want you to hear, months ago, Abi, it is already happening. Okay? Tinubu and Atiku, they are already closing the gap. Even those who somehow sounded like, yes, we are part of this rotten system. But in fact, we would be so glad to give leverage to everyone who have different views to what this Nigeria is. And in fact, we support you. I said, now because their election never starts. Today, let me give you an example. There is a recent release. I'm so happy that finally, Ilana Udua, they are able to actually eat the bull. She by the eye, ni abi in the eye. It doesn't matter. Like a bull shot pa. When they released this, released a statement 24 hours ago, warning the people. Election don't start and they will buy anyone buyable. They will buy any group buyable. If any group won't prove stubborn, they will create a faction. Except if they don't really need you. Ilana Udua put a statement out and they said, listen, everybody, Tinubu to all Yorubas is a complete distraction for the emancipation of the Yoruba people from this contraption. He also said deliberately, even Tinubu is taking the battle in his own hand to ensure that he crush any Yoruba group that boldly ever come out to say, we don't support him, we don't want him, or we want this or that. So, Ilana Udua now released a statement. They said they have received information, a very reliable one, that, since the Tinubu people couldn't penetrate and get to the head of Ilana Udua, Baba Akintoye, and, Baba Adeniran, they said they have, in fact, found some already willing tool within the Yoruba nation struggle who have accepted. Tinubu is a Yoruba. We want Yoruba nation. Why are we not supporting it? They have given them money. Whatever peanut they gave to them, whatever it is, Ilana Udua has put a statement out. If you read it in the newspaper, breaking news, Ilana Udua endorsed Tinubu, just know that the people they paid have delivered. But guess what? Now the job they paid them for, they are delivering. They are not speaking for everyone. Do you understand? That's to tell you, whatever you are witnessing or seeing right now within Afenifere, this is another example. In August, Afenifere said they were endorsing Obi. Some of us laughed because we know the the politics behind all of this. And in fact, no matter how much they try to argue it, no matter how much they try to convince you that, Afenifere is doing this for that or that on behalf of Yoruba people, I can tell you this. They themselves have confessed to that many times. Afenifere is political. A political group called socio-political group. When you use socio means like social club, but this is a political one, okay? And it comprises members. Their member comprises of people who are like retired or kind of self-employed or self-made individuals who want to use their own political and social contacts, according to them, for the development of Yoruba land, or for arguing the political stand of Yoruba people. So it is a socio-political group, right? They don't speak for the Yoruba people. Do you understand? That's a fact. Tinubu and Co came out and said just what I just said now. Who is Afenifere? Afenifere Bao. And those who want the, that stuff. Because they're just group of elderly men and maybe women. Right? And then some young supporters. So if you say, I'm a Afenifere member, right? You are just a young fan of Afenifere. Do you understand? Those who lead the group have always been, I don't know, like people who are in their 80s and 90s. Do you get that? So they are nothing to Tinubu until they realize hello endorse Omo Igbo. Hello endorse Omo Igbo. As the whole politics is about Ninle Yoruba. No. That is like, no, we can't take that. It is a very strong political stand that the likes of Tinubu believe that very soon Obi is going to run with that in Yoruba land. Meanwhile, some of you claim that you are already waiting for the day to go and vote for your Obi, whether he's in Labour, he's in Basket, in any way, Abi. Whether anybody endorsed him or anybody, or whatever, Abi, even though you are also like, you are so starved of endorsement too, including Gumi. Imagine, Gumi. Gumi and Obi. And now people are trying to tell me that, when you are trying to lead Nigeria, you have to meet every, tell me about it. Oya Shalaye. But let's come back to the trick. Baba Fasoranti said they called him, that they are coming for prayers. The old man said, just bring kola nuts, okay, for the elders, and we'll pray for you for the success of what you are looking for. 19 months ago, 21 months ago, Baba Fasoranti said he's too old. I can't do this anymore. You know that stuff, Abi? Then another 98 years old man, Baba Adebanjo, now took over. Everything was fine. No wahala, nothing. Do you know right now that the old man don't change in what? Or maybe Tinubu and gang, they drive him because they have to go and edit that old man to say, no, we did not endorse any Obio. We endorsed Ajiwaju. I mean, people said it's edited. That's where I'm going to go next, okay? Let's go to that. The old man said he endorsed Tinubu. But people said, listen to this very well and look at the lips of the old man and tell us, waiting the audio they talk correspond with the lips of the old man. I say, well, you might have a point or what? And they said, look at the level of interrogation. It was like they wanted to have it on record that he is asked, did you not? Anyway, let's go there. You tell me, do you think this is Baba Fasoranti confirming that, yes, we endorse Tinubu, no be prayer? So Shola Lawal, that was speaking for Fasoranti, is the one that lied, Abi. Na Tinubu and Co, they don't do their thing as usual. You tell me in 2 minutes.
I would say the leader of Afenifere.
You are still the leader of Afenifere. There is now this drama that because of that, Afenifere is endorsing Obi.
No.
I didn't hear that, sir.
No.
Afenifere is not endorsing Obi.
No.
What's the position of Afenifere?
We're endorsing Jagaban.
Afenifere is endorsing Jagaban.
Yeah. As you can see, the trend, the following, the approval, acceptability. You could see yesterday what happened. And the media carried the picture of the whole thing.
I read in the paper just this morning that Adebanjo warned you not to welcome Tinubu.
Can he do that? Can he do that successfully?
But is it true that he warned you?
No.
So what happened?
He took a stand. And
He called you.
And I took a stand.
He called you?
No.
Or you called him?
I didn't call him. He didn't call me.
Okay, you didn't speak about it.
No.
So, in Yoruba land, what is happening now? Adebanjo is endorsing
Obi.
Fasoranti is endorsing Jagaban.
As you can see yesterday, it goes without saying that Jagaban is accepted and we approve of him. Obi has no stand in our mind at all.
Do you think it's fake? Or do you think it's real? If it is fake, sorry that I shouldn't be asking you. Now, me suppose come and say, this is the original video. Do you understand what I mean? So, maybe we will have to dig that to confirm. Maybe some of us wish it's fake, but it's actually real. Don't you think? You know, when somebody says something is fake, they have to bring the original. Do you get that? So if there's already a recorded clip of Baba Fasoranti granting an interview, if you have seen it, please share with me so that I can come back and say, oh yeah, this is what Baba was talking here, and this one is fake. That's on the side, because after the Shola Lawal denied endorsing Tinubu, as we speak, they say Baba Fasoranti group, somebody we know DNA group, we know, you know what I mean? They say the man has called for emergency meeting and said no meeting of Afenifere must be held inside the Adebanjo's house. I say, Tinubu at work. You know what I mean? For those who know Tinubu very well, some of you have no idea what you are up against. And I mean, if you have any surprise to surprise with INEC, if anything you want to do, seriously, even me, I go sit there and say, hey, you dodge a bullet. You know what I mean? Like, whatever comes after. Tinubu is not somebody any of you can feel, even if he's on a wheel, even if it's, what do you call it? If he's on a stretcher, on a stretcher that I can't talk anymore. He has so much money. He has so much crook, network of them that are willing and ready to do anything and everything. And that's exactly what they're going to do. You know that. And you'll be seeing the ants in the remotest of the remotest places, and you'll be wondering, hey, do you get that now? And that's how much is coming to you. And then what will come after it? We'll get to that part at some point. So as it be now, the money is moving mad in Yoruba land. They are regrouping, re-strategizing, and they want to say, this is the real Afenifere, and they will back them with money. Look at that old man. That's 98 years old man. Oh. Aged man. But they will use him and milk him for the Jagaban political survivor. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, Abi. Don't worry. They say seeing is believing, Abi. And they say experience is the best teacher, Abi. So many of you are going to learn in a very hard way, and you are never going to remain the same after all of this. Good enough, you are all interested, aren't you? Right. So, Baba Adebanjo said, I want him. This one too. Now, nearly 100 years old man. Listen to Baba Adebanjo, the one that endorsed Obi. And then talking about Tinubu. Channels Television is the owner of this clip. I beg, get me back demo. Now, me, I just want to educate people. May they no suspend or report me because of this, Sure you get. So the credit goes to them. Thank you, Channels, for this. Baba Adebanjo, by the way, explaining what is going on. Before we go back to Lagos, where Shetima, Tinubu have promised to retire at Tifku, among other things. They said, Baba Adebanjo.
Let's begin the conversation and please clarify for us. Is there any confusion in Afenifere? First, we know the stance of your own leadership of Afenifere that you, Chief Adebanjo, at one time endorsed Peter Obi of the Labour Party for president in 2023, and the event that happened yesterday, you were absent at that meeting. What is going on exactly?
There is nothing going on other than an attempt to split Afenifere, to which I will not be a party. I will tell you the story and I won't go further. Fasoranti phoned me on Friday that Tinubu had phoned him that wanted to come and see him, and he wanted to say he shouldn't come. And I said, no, don't do that. You're an elder statesman. If you want to see you, why not? And I go further. Please note what I'm saying, because I'm not going to say more, because I don't want a controversy over this petty thing. I said that because you phoned me, that is why I will comment further. It is a sort of conspiracy among those who want to get Afenifere divided. They have been on this plan over a month ago. And my members came to me to alert. I said, well, don't talk about it. It will be a diversion. All we want now is an election on issues. And so I will direct you to the statement I made. Tracing the history of our own supporting Southeast. And Afenifere is not a cultural organization for the Yorubas. I continue to repeat that emphatically. And I did say that during my interview, during my statement, that Afenifere is the Yoruba interpretation of action group led by Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who is the champion of federalism in Nigeria. And it was on that context that the question of rotation and federal character came in. We are a party to it. And he said, for us to be united in Nigeria, Nigeria cannot be ruled under a unitary form of government. We fought that case until we went to a conference in 1954. And the whole country agreed on federalism, including Dr. Azikwe, who before then was a unitarist. And I often refer you pressmen to the Daily Times of late 53 or early 54, after the return of London Constitutional Conference, when Azikwe, on alighting from the plane, said federalism is imperative. It was on that basis that the position of premiership was established in this region, and autonomy was granted to them. Every region has its own. All these revolutions are talking about were included. All the things that can cause a friction between various ethnic nationalities that constitute Nigeria, we solved it out, and we had our independence. Before that, we had self-government, under which Awolowo became Premier and Savdana and all that. It's a long story, but I was just trying to cut it short to show our own position on Southeast is not a new agenda for us. Only those who want to make some importance or some relevance now And I was stressing that issue to educate our people.
Banjo,
when I noticed that they want
apologies to cut in, because I like to...
Omo, like I said, that Baba is over 96 or so himself. He was there in 1954. Can you believe that? Before Nigeria gained independence, he was there as a young man, following Awolowo political steps then. He was one of them, that old man. Right? And he just told you a very short, important story of what gave birth to the western region of Nigeria gaining autonomy, becoming an autonomous region, right? Gaining independence before the rest of Nigeria. So, the idea, like he said, the idea was that there will be rotational, this, that will mellow, and all that. So that's their own position. Somebody said they should go and form political party. Nigeria won't let them, because Nigeria is now unitary. Okay? Baba Adebanjo knows himself. According to them as well, they said Obi promised restructuring. Since Obi has promised restructuring, yeah? So if Nigeria is restructured, maybe Nigeria can go back to being, where Yoruba land can go back to being autonomous region. From Baba, 96 years old, though. Eh? But did you see that he has so much clarity in his presentation and all that? You can't say he's probably like, you know what I mean, like slurring, blabbing, and the rest, Abi. And he did tell you, or tell us, the attempt by Tinubu, and it won't be the first time. For those who know the history of Tinubu and all this, Baba, it all started from 1998. Before Tinubu could find his way and get them to drop Dosumu for him to become the candidate of AD. Something he personally, according to who have his record, they said, personally, Tinubu feels so much loath against this old men. Some of them are dead, right? Because of what they made him go through. Because according to them, they said when they were in exile, when Tinubu was running his drug business, running the account for the drug, the drug cartels in America, and he has so much money, he was feeding those who were fighting against the terror in Nigeria called military rule. They had no job to survive. It was hard. But Tinubu was able to, kind of be there for them. So when the 1999 return to democracy happened, Tinubu by then has forfeited some of his money to the American government, some of his properties. He was broke. Ask Benga Daniel, okay, of Cresta Laurel. For those who know that relationship as well, pre-1999. So they said Tinubu felt like those Baba, they felt so much like gods. And they made him suffer to become the candidate of AD and the eventual governor of Lagos State. So his first mission is to ensure that those Babas are completely retired. That was why, after 2003 elections, okay, I don't want to go into that, but after the 2003 elections, they started a slogan in Lagos called "No More Baba Sokwe." It started from there. The people they were referring to are these Afenifere leaders, because when you see Afenifere, people in Afenifere, they naturally believe that they are members of Alliance for Democracy, AD. That was kind of touted to be a Yoruba party, Awolowo party. For those, I don't be too, if you are an Indomie generation, waiting they tell you right now, you go say story, oh, it no go make sense to you. So don't worry, I'll get to your parts. I'll talk to your parents and your uncles now, okay? You relax. But they know what I'm talking about. No more Baba Sokwe. The moment some of the AD governors lost Yoruba land, AD, the money that should be flowing into running the party, Yoruba party, stopped. See Lagos State, that money that they have today, they've had that money As the economy changes, now you see a lot of money, Abi. Now, by then, they were relying on Lagos to at least fund their party. Tinubu being the only surviving governor of AD that time, it was time to relegate this Baba once and for all. They know the story. And for those who follow Tinubu very well, they also know this story. And they will tell you why some of these Yoruba elders, in their old age, they are not in good terms with Tinubu. Sure you get? Because he actually succeeded. He relegated them. By 2007, he already launched his own political party, Action Congress, AC. By 2011, he was already in the process of building alliance to the point that he was able to use that his own political party, ACN, to make a deal with Jonathan of PDP, and he got paid. So around that time, that's when his emergence of the Godfather. You see, these old men, they also know how it all happened. I mean, Baba Adebanjo from 1954, Tinubu from 1988 to 1992, and then to 1999 to 2022. So somehow, they have history. So he has always been very, very articulate in dealing with whoever he feels like they're going to make his whatever ambition or whatever thing he's going for. Whoever wants to make that stop or be a problem, he has a way of dancing around them. And that is Tinubu. That's why they said he's a political guru. No. He bribe, he threaten, he intimidate. And if you can't do any of those, if you can't get his whatever he wants from all those, they will kill you. Yeah. I mean, they will kill you. So Baba Adebanjo and co knows the desperation, how desperate Tinubu is, and he will do anything. That is that. So the Ilana Yoruba Nation campaigners, they have done so much, right, to desecrate that movement. They have done so much without saying anything, without making any noise. They have done so much, right, to kill the drive. And now people where they involved could tell you. But somehow, sadly, they have succeeded in getting into the core heart of the Yoruba nation struggle, because it is a big threat to Tinubu's ambition. So that is why they put out that disclaimer. If you read it tomorrow, they go put Babak into a picture, put Tinubu picture, and then you will see people, they will say they have endorsed him. How many of you even know that just this year, some set of, some members of Ilana Odua, they actually came together, and they said they put something called vote of no confidence on Baba Akintoye. How many of you know that? I don't know if you actually know that. Do you? Do you? All right. Well, if you are hearing it for the first time, yes, that happened just a few months back, right? They paid them and they gave a press conference and they said as Yorubas or Yoruba Nation for now can just stay from the side. Let us just support Tinubu. It's our own. They don't pay them again. So if you see breaking news tomorrow, just know where that is coming from. I just thought I should put you on notice because Ilana don't do that already. Meanwhile, let's go back to the 0404. This particular one is coming from Kolu and gang. When, there's this explanation I need to make before we get into this so that you understand what this actually means, okay? What you're going to see next. Now, Tinubu is sick, like Bokwari, is unhealthy, okay? No matter how much they package and do all of that, okay? They know he's not well. However, Tinubu himself need this presidency for immunity from all of the things you have said about him, all of the investigations against him, and everybody coming to, because he believed that a lot of people are coming to get him. Now, before he finally pack off and leave this earth, he would rather use that immunity and you can say whatever you want to say after that, but he will rather go as somebody, right, who crowned every of his efforts and was able to fool enough people for so long, like Bokwari, and he got rewarded for it. So whatever happened after that doesn't really matter. Okay? Now, if you know that, then everything else will just look more like just dramas, and you will never take them so serious like what I'm about to share with you. Okay? So everybody knows. Now, Tinubu and his team, they have a strategy. Some of you may not know it, but now you should know about it, okay? That strategy is called basement campaign strategy. Okay? And I'll give you in a very short way, okay? I'll give you how that works. When you have a very sick candidate that cannot speak off scripts, that is somebody who cannot really say something from their mind without having to mess the entire thing up, right? So what you would do is that you have to make sure you control the narrative. Number one, you have to make him inaccessible. And whenever they are going to make him accessible, it must be choreographed. And in fact, it must be so huge that the attendees of such his appearance, they will force you, okay, to beam your attention to what comes out of there. Like I said, choreographed. Choreographed means it's going to be like a step by step. When we get there, no, you dress him like this. When we get there, you smile like this. You shake 3-4 people. Then when you sit down, you know, like you have to say this, you have to do that. Then the media that will be allowed in are also going to be completely controlled and very, very monitored. Do you get that now? If there's anything out of the script that should happen within that period, they can confiscate recordings. That is called basement campaign. With that, you can control the narrative. So instead of you talking about Tinubu, or instead of Tinubu exposing his frailty, his weakness and every other thing, including his dumbness, they will have to control everything that comes around him, including his appearance and everything. So all these things may not deceive you because you think you are smart, but somehow they will get you thinking. You begin to look like, oh, wow. Let me show you 1 or 2 or 3 of them, okay? The last time you saw Shitima, a dress like an Agbero that just took the oversized raincoat of an homeless man for an event, to the point that they quickly had to jump into a shop and pick up some sneakers that didn't really match. But you see, optics is everything in politics. Okay, optics is everything. It is what people see that they will digest, and most of the time, it is what you see that remain in your brain, whether good or bad, funny or effed up. Image does so much to the people's to humans' mind and memories. So that is why they package. In this case, you will not invite Tinubu to any live TV chats. No, he won't attend that. Except if you are going to have it like a community chat where other people are going to have to come in whenever they realize that he is about to go off mark. So they won't let you have access to him until they actually control what you are going to do when you have the access to him. It's a very powerful way of campaigning. You're just going to sleep and wake up. They go say Tinubu is your next president. You go to ask yourself, hey, are these useless poor people voted? No, educated people too will follow. They will fall Mugu. Let me show you this, right? This is deliberate, okay? When you see an image like this, as a human being, even if you don't like them, even if you laugh them off, but they're never going to leave your mind. You're going to be like, forget to Tinubu self look good in suit, sha. Now, you don't like him, okay? But nevertheless, you remember that I saw him in suit. It is deliberate, okay? It is your mind. When they take pictures like this, they hide his infirmity. Do you get that now? Anything else you probably want to say, oh, he's not well, he's shaking, they won't make sense, okay? It'll be like, oh, he looks smart, he looks presidential. Oh, he kind of look all right. I mean, look at him. You know what I mean now? Oh, what would you say? I mean, come on. You know, stuff like this, they are called packaging. But you are packaging an empty barrel. Agba fifo. Sure, you get me now? You know, so they organized a meeting where they said it should be meeting with investors, private investors, okay? Now, private investors are people who are usually government contractors in Nigeria. Sure, you get? The people who are like double dealing, they don't pay taxes, they just pay money or contribute money to political parties, ruling parties. Then they commit, those who are in construction among them, they commit serious environmental, crimes and on and on. And they have to get covered by the criminals like this in government. So they invest greatly. Now, if somebody who is like this in 22 years controlling the controlling Lagos, which is the fifth or sixth largest economy in the entire West Africa or Africa. I don't know if that's true, by the way, but they keep telling us that it's a big place. I mean, Lagos State has a revenue base that generates over 1.8 trillion naira. But that's a lot of money. Sure you get. So, and I don't know how many West African countries that can generate that. Maybe South Africa, I don't know. But I'm just saying, right? It's a big place, right? Lagos State money alone, right, is bigger than what more than 29 states in Nigeria would generate. Like, maybe they combine 29 states, all of the money, all of them generate in a year, including Rivers State, the third richest state in Nigeria. Rivers State money, Kaduna, Kano, everywhere. You add 29 states before they can even get so close to what Lagos gets. So that means that's a very huge economy. And the people controlling who can make your billion disappear if you make wrong political decision, now then be this. The people you pay the tax to, the people you evade tax and tell you, say, okay, Dangote don't come, you say, okay, how much you owe Lagos? I am owing Lagos state government tax of 61 billion. 61 billion. Anyway, go and pay 1 billion to APC account. Go and pay 10 billion to Lagos Alpha Beta, which Ingo collect 30%. Then, okay, go and put 15 billion inside the remittance account. Keep the rest. They will write it up for you. So when they call them, they will have to answer. These are the people, the criminals, that you call the leaders of industries in Nigeria. The giant moguls, this name, all that name, billionaires. They are business, they are government contractors, military, police, military, civilian. They own your economy. They are protected by them. And when they are called, ladies and gentlemen, they will answer with a serious alacrity. So Tinubu and his team, they are working in that regard. They have the money. They have the clout. They have everything. And that is why I was wondering, how come are they now so desperate for a fake bishop to endorse them? A fake Afenifere to endorse them. Fake Obasanjo to endorse them. Fake this. Where are they? They have everything. They can, which is what they are doing now. So when the opportunity happens, some people manage, sneak few things out. Not be only him the package. The man that Tinubu said is going to retire, that is Atiku, himself the package. As he be so, Atiku is older than Tinubu by the Nigerian record. Sure you know, Atiku is 75 or 70 what? Now 75, I'll be 76. Maybe now 75. So if Atiku become your president, Atiku will be 79 or 83 years old by 2027. Oh, no, sorry, 2031 or more. Life, you wanted the mortgage, anyway. But anyway, so they are packaging him too. As he be so, Baba go United States Institute of Peace and all of that. Now for outside where the band, where the billboard day, then give a mic, then say me in can talk. The people the people at Tifku met inside the building, we know about. It's called packaging. And the Mugus are already swallowing them in Nigeria. It's called packaging. Even Kolu. You know what I mean now? Look at this. This is Kolu and Shitima. Okay? Siam, real deal, they say. So, they are packaging. And as for Kolu and his own photographer, you will think Bokwari's photographer will be learning lesson when Kolu finally come around as your president. It's called packaging. Okay? But you know inside this packaging, now die. For those of you who bought that of Bokwari, after 2 years, now like this Bokwari, they read all your problems when they complain. It's more concerned about what's they happen for Indonesia, Singapore, South Korea, America, France, UK, and all the part of the world. But whatever is happening to you in Nigeria, when you bring in when you brought in Bokwari, and like this, they read about your problems. So that's your problem, so to say, which is fair enough. I wish it is just your problem, because it seems to be going to be like everywhere. So Tinubu addressing businessmen in Lagos today, where he promised to retire at Tifku, where Shitima said Peter Obi and his mediocre performance, you know, get that, and all of that things they said today. I'm going to share them with you. But let us first sing their national anthem. Wait with this. Sorry, Jari. That's their national anthem. You see, sometimes when you read the comments, especially on Facebook, I have told you, I don't know, maybe Facebook did that to me deliberately. Here you get. I have over 530,000 followers on Facebook. But in the last 2 years, Facebook deliberately reduced those who have access to Mayegun on Facebook down by over 99%. I'm talking about I'm so surprised some of you are actually still there watching Mayegun on Facebook. I don't know how you do it. I keep going live, and sometimes I'm like, 50 people are there, 100, 200. Oh, wow. Now, when I get the notification, over 500,000 people don't get the notification. It's deliberate. Now, when you now read comment on Facebook, okay, and you read comments like, Mayegun, Shebi, you are shouting Yoruba nation all this while. How come that today, a Yoruba man that want to be president, you are against him? Now, only few mad people left. I do think about that. That Olori Brukuni Facebook here. They shut out, or should I say, all of you don't leave the place, come YouTube. Because if you go onto Facebook, there are like, mad, crazy junkies that will ask questions like that, and you think they probably mean anything. So don't waste your time replying them or abusing them. I'll tell you why. They are not asking because they care. They know that Mayegun doesn't have any interest in either Tinubu, Obi, Atiku, or any of your charade election. But that Mayegun, just like Mayegun was never interested in your 2015 choice of hellfire that you brought everyone in today. But in this 2022, from day one, the consequences of the actions that you take in that your Nigeria is not limited to you. Mayegun chose and continue to choose and stand on that one day you will realize that the only choice you have, that is the only thing we all have, is to stop doing same thing again and again and pretend that we want to rescue a place that they deliberately made impossible to manage or develop. Okay? For those who have realized, we take a stand, we said, you know what? when we are asked to, when we are given a chance, or we have a chance or a choice to make, we will decide never to be part of this nonsense anymore. We will choose an independent, sovereign nation, Yoruba nation. Now, if you now see anywhere Yoruba that is a Tifnumbu, a Tifku, or maybe Obi supporter that dropped a comment, like, Mayegun, Shebi, you are for Yoruba, Shebi, you are supporting Yoruba nation. How come you are now supporting Atifku? How come you are now supporting Tifnumbu? How come you are now supporting Obi? These are the madmen with phones. Do you get that now? They are not asking because they didn't know. They are asking because they are madmen from that Nigeria, and there's no amount of what you say. They are also the same guys, right, who want everybody asking for Yoruba nation to be killed or jailed or exiled. They are Yoruba, they are Igbo, they are Fulani, they are Hausa, they are Nigerians. They are the same set of rogues and morons who want Nnamdi Kanu to be jailed or killed, and everybody that is campaigning for self-determination to be killed, jailed, or exiled, because they want their criminal oppressors to continue their business as usual. Do you understand that? Then they will now turn around and say, Shebi, you are supporting, well, I thought you are a Yoruba nation, this and that. How come you are not talking about Yoruba nation again? You will think they care. They don't. The reason why I will continue to talk about this same Yoruba nation, and I will also never stop talking about the Oribrukus that many of you are already doing, from your parents to yourselves. And some of you are actually procreating now. You have children. You're going to leave them in the same mess that your parents probably participated in out of ignorance or probably out of selfishness as well, right? In other words, you are procreating. You are giving birth to children who are being born into the same hellhole. You want it, okay? But I wish that your choice and the consequences of your choices are limited to you. Today, $1 is now 900 naira to $1. Do you know that? 2nd of November, 2022. Yes. The unemployment in Nigeria today is now over 40%. That's a lot. The poverty level in Nigeria right today is now more than 60% of the population. Poor. Terribly poor. In 7 years, the terrorists in Nigeria have built so much strength that today it is now an industry where thousands, and in fact, there is a figure, over 53,000 Nigerians have been slaughtered, killed by terrorists in the last 7 years alone. Now, all of these are because of the consequences of your choice. And you are in the majority in a way. So sad. So that is why I will continue to remind you of the consequences of your choices. That never change. The position of Mayegun, the voice in the wilderness, telling you, even if na ekpe, to ba je pe lo se fun yin, to ti fori yin gbe pe, can you at least once in a while just tell yourself, we're actually doing the same thing again and again, trying to get a different result. And asking about why are you not talking about Yoruba nation doesn't mean that you actually want it. Because for those who really want it, you know what they say? Mayegun, please never stop talking about Yoruba nation. Never stop talking about the reasons why Yorubas should think deeper and stop investing in a system that is put in place to ruin and destroy us. They have done enough damages already. They said, Mayegun, don't stop. So you Olori Brukus can then ask me, why are you not talking about? I thought you are talking about Yoruba nation before, like as if to say your papa and your mama were deaf, blind, and dumb, and gave birth to you, right? I've transferred the same dumbness to you. Or maybe you just choose to be like that. But whatever it is, guys, if you are on Facebook, okay, you don't have to reply some of these cretins. Okay, some of their questions are not because they actually want an answer. It's because they want to shout you down. Shut up. Asiwaju is our leader. Atiku is going to be our next president. Peter Obi is going to rescue Nigeria. You know that stuff. They just want you to say that. But we won't say that because in another few months, right? All of the nightmare, all of your charade, all of your fantasy, everything will come to a close. But I am preaching to you. Are you prepared for the aftermath? Something some of you probably don't even think of. For Tinubu and gang, they are well prepared. Listen to Sanwo-Olu introducing Tinubu. He's a kingmaker. He's a people maker. He made this and that. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that? In Lagos State, Nigeria, in 2022, there are communities, there are places that have never seen electricity for the past 10 years. Can you believe that? I'm starting from Lagos, so I'm going elsewhere. In Yoruba land, 2022, 62 years after independence of Nigeria, 65 years after Yoruba land gained independence, that's autonomous region in Nigeria before the rest of Nigeria. 65 years after, there are still communities in that same Lagos who have no real hospital. They have no real schools. Talking about road, talking about drinking water, that's too much. In this 2022, Mo will leave Lagos, Yoruba land, abi, Mo go elsewhere. Do you know how much of poverty they have drenched our people in Yoruba land? When you go to the rural communities, people are struggling to feed. They are struggling. Healthcare, education. You have no idea the damages these people have done, right? People are suffering. This is not city. You see, the shege where they see for city. That they are telling you, pastor is telling you, somebody is after your life, somebody is selling your destiny and the rest from your village. You see, when you go to that village, you go back to the city and punch your pastor or punch that babala or anybody will tell you, say, person where they do you day village. Because in that village, and there you go no say, Nkoti Shewani le Yoba. 23 years of democracy. In Yoruba land, there are hundreds, not be say 1, 2, 3, hundreds of communities in Yoruba land that have not seen electricity for the past 20 years. There are some, they've never even seen any. You will never see electric pole. 2022. Guess what? But they have leaders that are demanding respect. Respect your leaders. All of you. We are Yorubas. We respect our respect kill you dear. Only respect his son. Respect your leader. You need to go in there and you'll be so surprised and say, go to Ondo, go Ekiti, go to Ogun State, Oyo. I'm even going to go to Oyo this evening. But let's go back to Lagos again, where Sanwo-Olu is describing how Tinubu is so marvelous. If you change your mind, no, you can't.
This man is no stranger to how you feel as private sector, as businessmen, as businesswomen, as leaders of our economy, to be able to sit with you and ensure that concerns that you have on a day-to-day basis, he can indeed organize and ensure that it will be things of the past. He will be able to bring back his private sector dexterity, his private sector acumen, his private sector trajectory to bear with you, understanding what are your pains, what are your concerns. This is the man that we're here to listen to. This is the man, and I know that all of the captains of industry see him as part of you. We are at the same point, but just on different sides of the coin. Today, he stands here as a politician, as the leader of our party, as a presidential candidate. But if you look at the other side of the coin, you see a man that is compassionate. You see a man that is business-driven. You see a man that has a lot of appeal and intelligence and understanding that you are the person to go through and understand and appreciate on a day-to-day basis. Leadership, they say, is everything. But leadership is tough. Leadership is hard. We've seen what is happening in global economy. We are not immune. It's not only in our country. It's not only in West Africa. The global trend shows that indeed time for leaders to stand up and be counted. Tinubu, the man that I've come to respect, is a man that also can help our businesses here in Lagos and in Nigeria. I want to welcome you to this event. This business has a trajectory, a man that indeed has what it takes to lead this country forward with the renowned hope for